Hello, parents. Welcome to the Masterful Parenting Podcast. I'm Ann Alvarez, parent coach, school counselor, and mother of two. Do you sometimes struggle with your parenting role? Do you notice that sometimes you're repeating patterns that you learned in your own childhood? Maybe you are carrying childhood pain that has not been healed, and you notice that it is showing up in your parenting with your own children. Perhaps you yell or get frustrated easily. Maybe you are directing them or telling them what to do all the time, and you notice that your actions are affecting your relationship with your children. Well, parents, I totally understand this. I came from childhood pain and I learned how to be a relational parent with my children. And I can teach this to you as well. This podcast is all about learning how to heal the childhood pain that we are carrying so that we can foster healthy relationships with our kids. Join us every week for a new show, and we will dive into the healing and the fostering of healthy relationships with our children. Hello, parents. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into the topic of punishment. I'm on a lot of parenting groups, and a lot of parents ask the question, what do I do if my child misbehaves? What do I take away? I've tried this, and this, and it's still not working. So today's show is going to be about punishment, why it doesn't work, or if it works, it only works for the short term, not for the long term. And we're going to talk about the impacts of punishment, what it does to our children, and what can we do instead? I'm hoping to change your minds, parents, about punishment so that you can see it from your child's perspective. So, what is punishment? So, punishment is defined as inflicting pain or loss for a misdemeanor. So, basically, somebody has misbehaved, has not done something right, has maybe broken the law at home, and we're going to inflict pain or take away something, cause a loss for that person, right? So right off the bat, we know that's not healthy in a family, right? Like I hope that you can understand and see a healthy family is not about inflicting pain or imposing a loss to our kids. And so we have to do like a reframe in our minds. Why? Because punishment is actually damaging to families. It's damaging to our kids. And I'm going to explain why. The first reason is that it teaches fear. So when you're punishing your kids, you are the person in power. And now your children are afraid of you. They don't want to go to you. They don't trust you. Um, it's very confusing for a child because on the one hand, you're supposed to love them or you tell them you love them, but then you inflict pain. You cause, you impose a punishment. You maybe spank them or yell at them or take things away from them. So it's in conflict to what is really love. And so for our kids, they're very confused. My parents love me, but yet they're inflicting this pain on me. They're causing me pain. And so what happens with children is that they start to internalize a messaging about themselves, not about their parents, right? They love their parents. They are biologically connected to us from birth to love us and to want to connect with us. And so if a parent does something to them, such as punish them, yell at them, then they internalize a message that there's something wrong with me. I'm bad. Um, I'm not worthy. I don't do anything right. These are the kinds of messages our children internalize by our actions. of punishment. So, number one, it teaches fear. Fear me, fear the parent. Okay. And that's not a healthy relationship, parents. When you're scared of your spouse or people in your life, that's not a healthy relationship, right? So it's not modeling what is healthy. It's repeating patterns from our childhood. And maybe we want to break those cycles. It also harms the parent-child relationship because now the child thinks that they're the enemy. Now our children think, mom is not for me, or dad, I can't go to dad because he's going to flip out, right? I can't be honest with my real feelings because I'm going to get in trouble. And so now our relationship with our children is broken. We've broken it by imposing punishment, right? Inflicting pain or loss to our kids. It also models aggression. It shows that the person that is bigger and stronger is the person that's in control. And so it is kind of a form of bullying, honestly. So our children see that. They see, oh, well, because dad is bigger than me or mom's bigger than me, I have to listen, I have to obey, and I don't feel safe. It actually triggers a traumatic response in the brain to have to be on survival or to shut down their feelings, right? To shut down how they truly feel and how they truly express themselves. That is actually what is happening when our children go through experiencing from their parents this form of aggression, this punishment, because now in their minds they want to fight, fight, or flee or fail, which means like they just want to like give up. Okay, so these are the stress responses that happens with children because of our behavior, because of our forms of punishing, trying to control them. And it discourages honesty. So if we start punishing, then our kids don't trust us to tell them things because, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. So now we're not their safe person. You know, if something bad happens to them, they're not going to go to us, right? They might not even go to anybody, right? So when we are focusing on punishing them, then to get their way, they might lie, right? They might hide their mistakes. Oh, better not show my mom and dad my test because they're going to flip out and get mad and take away my phone and take away my TV or my shows or my games because now that's how they've responded in the past. And now as a child, I know that's what they're going to do. So now I'm going to lie about it. I'm going to say, oh, yeah, I did well on the test. It's fine. Right. So now it's encouraging dishonesty in relationships, which further affects the parent-child relationship. Right. So it's not healthy. And also, it focuses on controlling. Punishment is really about controlling, you know, that you're controlling your children by enforcing rules through punishment, right? And we know healthy relationships do not involve control. We know unhealthy relationships are about control. So if you've ever been with a spouse who's telling you what to do, or your parents are constantly telling you how you should live your life, what you should do, what you should not do, that actually is not healthy. That actually doesn't develop you. In fact, it undermines your self-esteem. And it's the same with our kids. The more controlling that we are, the more in the teenage years, they will become rebellious and not care what we think, or they will be afraid of us, right? We're still, as an adult, they don't trust their own judgment. because they're so used to listening to their parents that they can't think for themselves. Right. And that was my experience. I'll be honest. Like in my childhood, my parents were very controlling, very overly protective. And then as a young woman, I didn't have confidence because I wasn't allowed to think for myself. I wasn't allowed to give my opinion. The messaging I gave myself is my voice doesn't matter. My opinion doesn't matter. And so in my early adult years, I felt that my voice doesn't matter. I had very, very poor self-esteem. And that's not healthy for our kids. We know our kids to excel in anything, they have to have good self-esteem. So punishment actually damages their self-image. And I know it's hard to understand. Like, I think logically you can understand what I'm saying, but intuitively you've grown up with punishment, and our society has said punishment is the way to go. Like, get control of your kids. Why are they having a temper tantrum? You know, you see yourself as a bad parent because your kids are not behaving the way society thinks they should behave. But it doesn't matter what society thinks. It doesn't matter what was done before. We can slip into 2025 and say that actually isn't healthy. It's not healthy to control our kids. It's not healthy to not allow them to express their feelings. It's not healthy for that to not listen to them and understand where they're coming from. That actually is not healthy. And actually breaks my heart when parents are not listening to their children, because I know the damage that it causes down the road. When they become adults, they'll carry these messages. They can't trust their parents. They can't go to their parents when they have a real concern. Their support is not their home. So they have to find support outside of the home if they can get support outside of the home. I'll just share with you, I was helping out teaching in a class just the other day. And one of my students, he was asking me for a cracker. And I said, oh, I would love to give you a cracker, but if I give you a cracker, I have to give everyone in the class a cracker because that would be fair. Then I don't have enough crackers to give to everybody. And he said, oh, well, I don't like my lunch. And I said, oh, so did you tell your mom you didn't like your lunch? Like maybe you can suggest to her a lunch that you would eat, that you enjoy. And he said, no, I told her and then she got mad. She was upset about it. And I said, oh, okay, I understand. I understand now. And it made me think about that mom that has now created a situation where her son will not be honest with her and tell her how he truly feels because she overreacted to his request to maybe have a different lunch. And that is actually what happens to our kids. Our kids, they're not comfortable talking to us if we flip out, overreact, or give the message that their opinion doesn't matter and we don't care. We don't care. Suck it up. Eat your lunch, right? When we give that kind of message to our kids and not listen to them, that actually hurts them. That actually damages them because now they don't feel heard and their opinion doesn't matter. And what they want doesn't matter. That's the message that they're going to take with them from that experience. So we have to stop that, parents. We have to stop our overreactions and we have to stop ourselves from being triggered and we have to listen to our kids, right? And not punish them for sharing what they truly want or what's in their hearts, right? Because now you're creating when you complain or when you say, I don't want to hear it, now you're creating this unsafe home where your child cannot truly express how he or she feels about things. And it's not healthy. Okay, so what do we do instead? What do we do instead? Okay, so the key to getting compliance from your kids is really connection, deep connection. How do you get deep connection with your children? Number one, you got to spend time with them. You cannot have connection with anybody if there's no time invested. So you have to spend time with your child. You need to set aside time. And it doesn't have to be hours and hours. But it needs to be intentional and it needs to be daily. So like a good night prayer, a good night story, time to talk about how was your day, um, taking an interest in what they're interested in builds connection, asking them questions, getting in their head about their lives and what they think, that builds connection. And also sharing about your life with your children is also important and also builds connection. So spending time, quality time, doing things with your children that they like. Okay. It's not like spending time cleaning the house. It's not like that. It's not like demanding them to do chores. That's not spending quality time. Quality time is let's connect. Let's read a story together. Let's talk about it. Or let's talk about your day. How was your day? I really want to know. What are your friends like? You know, who are your closest friends? Like asking them questions about their lives. And you'll notice that your kids will begin to want to know about your life too. Our children are biologically geared to connect with their parents. Okay. It's a biological need that has to be filled by us. And if it's not filled by us, then we are going to see the repercussions of that, like anxiety, giving into peer pressure, being bullied. We're going to see the repercussions of not spending time connecting with them. Okay. So connection first. That is the key to compliance. And then teaching. We have to get it out of our heads that our kids have to be perfect. Our kids do not have to be perfect. We are not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. Let them make mistakes. Don't expect the perfection from your children. Okay, that maybe was the way you grew up. But it's not healthy to have these conditions and have these expectations, unrealistic expectations of our kids. Every time they make a mistake, we have an opportunity to teach instead of punishing. And teaching actually the lessons last a lifetime, right? So we can take that opportunity to teach them how to do it better or what to do next time or what would help. Do you know what might help? What do you think would help you get to school on time? You know, it's a good habit. These are the impactful conversations we have with our kids. I want you to have good habits in life, honey. And being on time is a good habit. That's actually very, very desirable by employers, not to be late. I want you to learn this while you're in school, honey. So can I help you learn that? Now, if you are connected with your kid's going to listen. Your kid's going to be like, okay, mom. Yeah, maybe I need to go to bed earlier. Okay, mom. Can you wake me up at this time? Right? So now we're an ally, right? We're not an enemy. Now we're an ally and they're not our enemies. We want to support them, right? So opportunities to teach instead of punishment. All right? Think of it, reframe it. Oh, okay. They made a mistake. I'm going to try and teach something. I'm going to try and teach them what would work, what would help. And I'm not going to shame them for making a mistake because we all make mistakes. Okay. So here's an example. You hit your brother and hitting hurts, and hitting in a family is not healthy. What can you do next time you're feeling upset and angry? because we're not allowing hitting in the family, honey. And if they can give you an answer, yeah, maybe I need to calm down. Maybe I need to go to my room. Maybe I need to do this, right? Then that's good because it comes from them, right? It's like you get more buy-in when the idea comes from them. But you could also suggest, you can say, okay, if you don't know what to do, honey, how about this? And you have this impactful problem solving dialogue with your child to help them. Maybe you can practice using your words, or maybe you can take a break, honey, when you're getting frustrated. Like, when do you feel like you're getting frustrated? Do you start like, do you start getting tense in your body? That's an indication. Again, we're teaching body awareness, which is really, really important to regulate. When that happens, when you're getting tense in your body, then you know that you need to take a break because you're getting upset, right? And it's okay to get upset. It's just not okay to hit your brother or hurt anybody or hurt anything, right? That's the kind of conversation we need to have with our kids. Okay. And we also need to use natural and logical consequences because in life, there are consequences for our actions. And we as adults, we learn the natural consequences, right? We overspend, then we are in debt, right? And we have to work harder to pay off the debt. Okay, that's a natural consequence, right? Our kids are the same. They forget their jacket. They go to school. It starts to rain. Okay, natural consequence. They get wet. They come home soaking wet. Okay, is it the end of the world? No. They've learned something, right? It's okay. They throw a toy and it breaks. Natural consequence. Okay, well, I guess you can't play with that toy anymore because you threw it, right? Natural, logical consequence. So you don't have to punish if there is a natural, logical consequence, right? And I always say in healthy families, you have to have boundaries. You cannot allow your kids to have unhealthy behavior in your home. The home should be a safe haven for everybody. So you don't feel safe when your kid is throwing things, having a temper tantrum or whatever. And so we have to get to the bottom line of what's happening, why, and we need to figure it out together, right? But you know what? I'm not allowing you to hit or to break things in the house. That's not okay, right? But we're not going to be reactive and punitive and take something of theirs and break it. No, parents, that's like immature behavior. That is teaching them revenge. We don't want that. We want to work with them, but still have boundaries. It's not okay to do that, honey, to break this, right? How are we going to solve this? Right? Because now we don't have that item now to use. What do you think we should do? Right now we're involving them in the problem solving. Honestly, parents, when you involve your kids in the problem solving, it elevates their self-esteem, right? Because now they have to think and be part of the solution. And that builds confidence, right? So establishing boundaries, but also problem solving together is so much more impactful than punishment. So we're going to solve it together. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it. What happened? What can we do differently next time? Right? You don't have to be perfect, but let's prevent it from happening again. Okay. And then we're going to give praise for their effort, praise for their cooperation. Thank you for helping with the problem solving, honey. I really appreciate it, right? This encourages intrinsic motivation, right? So what is coming from them. And when that happens, when it's something that is coming from them, that is going to last their lifetime, right? But punishment is only for the temporary. It's only for now until they can figure out how to get away and get their way. But intrinsic motivation will last them their whole lives because now they want it for themselves. So doing the right thing because of fear is not actually intrinsic. But when you are praised and you are being shown cooperation, that that helps here in our kids' hearts. And inside they feel that and they want to do what's right. Actually, instinctively, kids want to do what's right. But what prevents them is this dysregulation or being controlled, right? But inside, they want to please us. So that's why we have to work with them, because we can show them that we love them and we support them and we want to help them. And that is more impactful than a one-off punishment. No phone, no iPad, you can't go to the party. That's a one-time thing, but that's not long lasting. Okay? It'll solve things temporarily, but then you're going to see the behavior again. I guarantee you'll see the behavior again, right? Because there was no lesson taught. It was just like, take it away, you know? So it doesn't actually help long term with changing our kids' hearts. So the old way is you threw the toy, I'm taking all of your toys. Okay, that's an old way of thinking, parenting. That's the old way. But the new way, which we can call like positive discipline, right? Because we do still have to teach our children discipline. You threw your toy, it tells me you're upset. It's not okay to throw or break anything. Maybe we should take a break right now until you calm down, right? So now we're calling out the behavior. We're saying you threw it. That's not okay. I know you're upset. We're validating their feelings. And then we're offering a solution, right? Or you could even ask if your child is older, you can even ask, what do you need right now? Do you need a timeout? Do you need a break? What do you need from me right now? Right? Again, we are modeling cooperation. We are inviting problem solving together. And we're showing support and love, which is what our kids need. So those are the strategies. I know, and there's different strategies with teenagers and with toddlers, but again, the same premise, no matter what the age is, it's the same thing. We're there to support and teach and love. And punishment doesn't do that. So we have to find a way to connect, teach our children what they can do, what's not appropriate, what they could do better. Let natural, logical consequences happen. You don't have to punish. They didn't bring their jacket, they get wet. Natural, logical consequence. Set clear boundaries, what your expectations are. My expectation is you do not hit. Nobody hits in the family. Nobody hurts anybody in the family. Nobody yells at anybody in the family. That's my expectation. If you need time because you're upset, then you can go to your room, you can breathe, you can go for a walk, you can do something else. But unhealthy behavior is not allowed in this home because everybody needs to feel safe. All right. And then invite the problem solving together and then give tons of praise, right, for their effort and their cooperation. Praise goes a long way, parents, I'm going to tell you. I try to find praise every day with my kids. It's made a huge difference, really, in our relationship because they now show that praise to me. They thank me because I'm grateful for anything they do. Now they're grateful for what I do as well. So we're modeling, we're always the role models for our kids. Our kids are mirrors and they do what we are showing them, not what we are telling them. So we have to be the models. All right, parents, I hope that I have changed your mind about punishment and have given you some tools to do instead of punishing. remembering that when we punish, our kids are actually being damaged and our relationship with them is being damaged. And only way we can make true impact with our kids is by having good relationship with them. And so that's what we have to work towards. Okay. I know it's not easy. I know it's like reframing the way you think, but I'm telling you, it works. You're going to teach your kids how to be healthy in relationships. And this is going to carry on into their adult lives. So I'm a firm believer in let's change it. Let's change how we were parented so that we can raise healthy kids and break the generational trauma, the generational pain with us so that our kids no longer carry it and generations to come can be healthy with each other. So that's what I got for today, parents. If you need support, you can hook up with me on my website. You can DM me, email me, and I am happy to help parents change the way they're parenting so that they can raise healthy kids. Thank you so much, parents, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, parents, for joining the show today. If this show blessed you, changed you, or helped you in any way, I would appreciate a Google review or a review on my podcast. And I would love you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Masterful Parenting, so we can get the word out to more parents about relational parenting. Thank you so much, parents, and we will see you next time. Take
Audio
care,
Jungle.
everybody.